Hi everyone, it's Annie here. I've put together this little time-lapse video so you can see the process on what I'm actually doing with regards to applying the first layer onto an acrylic painting. The colours that I'm using today are titanium white, light brown, burnt sienna, raw sienna, scarlet and black. You'll notice the bird is already painted white. Well, this is what we call a undercolour. What that does, it prevents all the background colours coming through the bird as you're painting it. You'll see me randomly mixing colours from the paint that I already have in my palette there. The palette is actually a saucer, so if you've been to one of my classes before, you'll know I'm a fan of using things that are already around pieces of wood, saucer, plates, even takeaway containers. So I'm randomly mixing these colours and just feeling it because, you know, layer one isn't really that important. It's not really going to look 3D. It's basically just applying a layer of paint so I can feel where I need to go. By the way, with regards to your takeaway containers, these are an excellent palette if you're using acrylic paints, especially if you want to keep and preserve the colours that you've already blended. All you do is give your paint a spray with some water and put on the airtight lid, and it will last for a while. My thought process at this stage is whether or not I'm going to use this scarlet colour for the robin's breast and head. I'm not really sure. I think that's why I keep going back to it. But like I say, this is layer one. It's a process. I'm discovering all the colours I want to use, and they can easily be changed along the way. What I'm actually doing is feeling my way around the colours. So I'm just applying bits here and there, a little bit of shadow, some highlights. Like I say, I'm not really 100% on whether this is going to be the final colour scheme or the final palette that I use. So I think sometimes you just got to start painting and just feel it, and then you'll know when you've put the first layer down whether or not it's working. So that's my process, I guess. One of the common things I hear my students say in my art classes is, when you start painting it doesn't really look very good. Well, that's because it's not meant to in layer 1, and unfortunately that's where most people stop painting. They think they're not a very good artist when all they had to do is apply layer 2 and 3. Nobody really told them to keep going. So you've done your painting, you think it's finished, and it looks rubbish. So of course, you're going to think you're not a very good artist. So the one word of advice I would say or give to somebody is just to keep going. Apply those colours till the pop. Don't give up, and don't ever underestimate yourself. One of the things that I like when I'm painting is the peace it gives me. I feel very calm. It's a form of meditation for me. It takes me into a whole new world of creativity. I'm not really necessarily thinking about anything in particular. I'm just actively meditating, I guess. It's a very calming, relaxing way to be. So the process in the painting is the most important part for me. I never create my paintings to sell. I'm just lucky that they do. But I usually just paint from the soul. So I paint what I feel, how I feel, and whatever mood I'm in at the time. So if we look at the process that I'm doing right now, just adding those darker colours. So I've added some black to the wings, and I'm just experimenting a little bit with the detail there and a little bit of shading, trying to get that fluffy feel underneath the robin. I'm not sure at this stage whether that's going to work either. Everything's a bit of a challenge, so you just keep plodding along, you just keep adding colours, and then if it doesn't work out you scrap the whole thing. Or not, as the case may be. It all depends. Sometimes I'll walk away from it and just look at it a few times and think, oh, okay, and then one day it'll just click and say, oh, that's where I went wrong. So it's not always going to be perfect first time. You just got to allow yourself to make mistakes. It's the whole point in extending your skill base and learning. So here I am in my zone, so to speak. If you're wondering what I mean when I say zone, it's basically defined as being in the zone as a flow. It's a state of heightened emotion and blissful immersion. So at this stage I'm not too sure how much time has gone by. As I'm editing this video, I can see the light is moving across the painting from the curtain, which isn't fully closed behind me. So possibly this whole process for applying layer 1 of this little robin took me maybe an hour and a half. You know, you lose track of time when you're painting. Sometimes it's good not to think about the clock too much, especially when you're in your creative space. I'm a big believer that art is a real good tool to use towards healing. So basically art is the meeting ground of the world inside and the world outside. So it's definitely a good feeling, and it can be very, very therapeutic. Especially if you've got a busy life, you need a bit of time for yourself, and we often forget about ourselves when we're looking after everybody else. I haven't mentioned what I've been painting on. This is wood, not a canvas, and I've been appreciating painting on wood lately. Most of my paintings in this last month have actually been on wood. So we're nearing completion of layer 1 for my little robin here. I'm not sure if I'm going to make him stand on something, maybe a pen or a paintbrush that's randomly laying on the piano keys or not. So when I start to paint the feet here, I'm probably going to arc them a little bit and then decide a bit later whether or not I want to keep them that way or lay them flat. So, you know, this whole painting isn't planned out, it's just something which is happening. It's a free flow of allowing the mind to just do its thing. So I hope that you really enjoyed this video. It's my very first time-lapse video, and like I said, it's still work in progress, layer 1, and hopefully I'll inspire you guys.